Okay, it's been nearly 3 months since the controversial end to the 2021 season at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Now, while some people may still be disappointed with the outcome, many have moved on from the incident, preparing themselves in anticipation of a widely exciting 2022 season. Those who were negatively impacted by the final result, that is Team Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton, have also chosen to forgive and forget what transpired last season, focusing rather on this year's championship. Now that the dust seems to have finally settled, the newly crowned champ, Red Bull's Max Verstappen, can at last enjoy the fruits of his labour. The 24-year-old driver does, however, have a few more thoughts to share. So let's take a look at Max's final response on what happened with Hamilton. Of course, winning his maiden World Championship title must have been a dream come true for Max Verstappen, but the Dutch driver had no time to spare for a victory parade. Just 48 hours after his dramatic win at the Yas Marina circuit, Max was back once again to test the new 18-inch Pirelli tyres on the RB16B. Despite the looming threat of an appeal by Mercedes, the Red Bull driver looked to be quite calm and composed. Speaking to the press at the end of the post-season testing, Max said, "It felt good to be back behind the wheel and it was good to get a feel for the new tyres. Everything changes next year and the cars will be very different, so it's good to have initial information about the tyres. It was a good day today at the end of a very long but ultimately massively rewarding season, and I'm now very much looking forward to some time away from the racetrack." Now, Max's victory celebrations, although well deserved, did not last very long given the upcoming challenge of the all-new 2022 car. The newest world champion did not waste any time getting back to training at his Monaco home, as seen in some of his Instagram posts. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner shed some light about Max's plans before the season opener, saying, "In January he's already been ramping it back up and training hard and looking forward to the season ahead. Obviously there was a lot of work in the simulator, so it's a lot of work in a virtual world. Then there were seat fittings and all that kind of stuff to do, with merchandise and this, that and the other. So from the last week of January, things started to get busy for him." Considering his busy schedule, it's safe to assume that Verstappen has had no time to unwind or even unpack the events of the 2021 season finale. Having spent weeks in training and testing the RB18, he at last had a few moments to spare. Recalling the night of the final race, Max shared, "That was such a hectic week that I don't enjoy everything when I think about it. It also brings back the tense feeling of that time. I enjoy the moments after that more. No, I don't have nightmares about it, only I prefer to think back to the moments when it was all over." Max's anxiety at the time doesn't seem to be too surprising, given that the driver had a lot to lose compared to Lewis Hamilton. The two rivals were equal on points going into the final race in a winner-takes-all showdown. What followed afterwards was a series of mismanaged decisions that ended a high-stakes season in a truly dramatic fashion at the cost of Lewis Hamilton's record-breaking 8th championship win. Now, when asked about how he felt about the final lap, Max replied, "A championship is won over a whole season, not by one decision in the last race. I also think I deserve the title, absolutely. There may be people who only watched the last Grand Prix, they may think I was lucky, but normally the championship would have been decided in my favour long ago." He did, however, show sympathy towards Hamilton, who ended up losing big time in the whole fiasco. Yes, if you look at how things went in Abu Dhabi, I understand the disappointment, but like I said, you have to watch the whole season. You don't earn a title based on one race. It was a crazy and epic Formula 1 season at the end of the ride. The losing team will try to take the shine off it a bit, but on the winning side it still feels good, I can assure you. Verstappen further went on to speak about the tense competition between Red Bull and Mercedes, revealing, "I think everyone was so eager to win the title that they pulled out all the stops. It was so terribly close. Normally one team has a little more upper hand. I don't expect it to happen as often as last year, but it showed how important it is to have a good team." In the aftermath of the whole incident, the FIA conducted a detailed investigation into the decision-making back at race control and proposed a few radical changes to the entire process, starting with the sacking of race director Michael Masi. Masi is said to be replaced by Niels Wittich and Eduardo Freitas, who will take turns at the job. About it all, Max felt that the FIA were a bit too harsh on Masi, and some of the backlash was unwarranted. What happened to Michael is very unfair. The FIA were pressurized into making a decision. Everyone needs help. I have the whole team around me. Maybe Michael needed more people around him, but he never got the opportunity. They really put him in the ground. Nobody is perfect. But what was always brought up was that we needed to race. We needed that mindset, and he had that, said Verstappen in support of Masi. Making the most of his victory, Max decided to opt for the #1 racing number in 2022, which is usually set aside for the previous season's champion. He further unveiled a new design for his helmet and a golden pair of shoes to mark his win. His biggest takeaway from winning the championship is his latest contract deal to race for Red Bull till the 2028 season, his longest contract yet, and also the longest in the history of the sport. I really enjoy being part of the Oracle Red Bull racing team, so choosing to stay till the 2028 season was an easy decision. I love this team, and last year was simply incredible. Our goal since we came together in 2016 was to win the championship, and we've done that. So now it's about keeping the #1 on the car long term, proclaimed Verstappen as he made his intentions of not leaving the team anytime soon very clear. Although Red Bull put up an explosive performance in 2021, they may not be able to keep up the momentum from last year's campaign or guarantee another championship-winning car due to the drastic regulation changes. The team's best bet is to have Max around for the long term and push the car to its limits. According to Christian Horner, our immediate focus is on retaining Max's World Championship title, but this deal also shows he's part of the team's long-term planning. With the Red Bull Powertrains division working towards the new engine regulations for 2026, we wanted to make sure we had the best driver on the grid secured for that car. Now, ahead of the second test in Bahrain, Max doesn't seem at all worried about how fast the other cars on the grid are relative to the Red Bull or their lap times either. The Dutch driver completed a cool 206 laps over the 3 days of testing in Barcelona. Commenting about his session, Max stated, "Yes, it was alright, of course quite a few red flags, so we could not complete our whole program, but everything was working well, the car felt good. What is positive is that the car is running smoothly. I don't pay attention to the lap times just yet, I'll look into that when we get into the Q3 at Bahrain." So, with less than a week left for the season to kick off, Red Bull and Mercedes are going to take every possible step to ensure that they have the best possible package to offer their drivers. It's not just the teams, but also the drivers who have plenty at stake this season, as Lewis Hamilton once again sets on his goal of winning his 8th title while facing his teammate George Russell. Max, on the other hand, will no doubt seek to defend his title from the likes of other strong drivers such as Sainz, Norris and Leclerc. As each of the 10 teams start with a clean slate this year, fans will be eager to see some new faces put up a challenge to Verstappen and Hamilton and see another world champion in the making. So, what do you think about Max Verstappen's form this season? Will he be able to take down Hamilton once again? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.